Scientific notation and engineering notation both utilize the powers of 10 system. In scientific notation, all values are written with a number between 1 and 10, often with 2 decimal places. The power of 10 represents the number of decimal places moved. We might say that the format for scientific notation is digit, point, digit, digit times a power of 10. For instance, the number of electrons in a coulomb, 6,250,000 trillion, was 625 times 10 to the 16th in powers of 10 notation. The same value becomes 6.25 times 10 to the 18th electrons in scientific notation. Notice that this is the same as 625 times 10 to the 16th electrons, except that we have moved the decimal point 2 more places to the left and increased the power by 2 from 16 to 18. The amount of power picked up by an antenna, 0.0000000000058 watts, was 58 times 10 to the negative 14th watts in powers of 10 notation. The same value becomes 5.8 times 10 to the negative 13 watts in scientific notation. Notice that this equals 58 times 10 to the negative 14 watts, except that we have moved the decimal point 1 less place to the right and increased the power from negative 14 to negative 13. Engineering notation is very similar to scientific notation, except that the goal is to simplify the way powers of 10 values are written by using metric prefixes. Engineering notation is more common for engineering and technical environments, such as electronics, than scientific notation. For this reason, it is the notation system we'll emphasize in these lessons. In engineering notation, the decimal point is always moved in groups of 3, as opposed to the digit, point, digit, digit form of scientific notation. 8,000 in engineering notation, for example, would be written as 8 times 10 to the 3rd power. 32,000 would be written as 32 times 10 to the 3rd power. 0.005 would be written as 5 times 10 to the negative 3rd power, and 0.07 would be written as 70 times 10 to the negative 3rd power. As we have just seen, the decimal point is moved so the power is a multiple of 3 and the number is between 1 and 1,000. Using metric prefixes to represent powers of 10 can help simplify things even more. Each prefix represents a commonly used power of 10. 10 to the 3rd power is called kilo. It comes from the Greek word that means 1,000. 10 to the 6th power is called mega. It comes from the Greek word megas, which means great or mighty. Many of our words, such as megaphone and megalith, have the prefix mega in them. 10 to the 9th power is called giga. It comes from the Latin word gigas. Our word gigantic derives from giga. 10 to the 1st power, deca, and 10 to the 2nd power, hecto, however, are not commonly used in engineering notation because the decimal point is always moved in groups of 3. Nor are there prefixes for 10 to the 4th power, 10 to the 5th power, or other powers. Extending our metric prefix number line in the opposite direction, we find that 10 to the negative 3rd power is called milli. It comes from the Latin word that means 1,000. 10 to the negative 6th power is called micro. Micro comes from the Greek word mikros, which means small. 10 to the negative 9th power is called nano. Nano is a Greek word that means dwarf. 10 to the negative 12th power is called pico. Pico is a Spanish word that means small quantity. To further simplify things, each of the prefixes have an abbreviation. For kilo, it is a lowercase k. For mega, it is a capital M. For giga, it is a capital G. For milli, a lowercase m. For micro, the Greek letter mu. For nano, it is a lowercase n. And for pico, it is a lowercase p. All of these abbreviations are easy to remember if you notice that each abbreviation is simply the first letter of the prefix itself, except for micro, which, because M is used for milli, uses the Greek letter for M, mu. Mu is written like a U with a tail on the left side. The only other thing to remember is that giga and mega are abbreviated with a capital G and a capital M. Since the prefixes and their abbreviations are widely used in electricity and electronics, you should commit them to memory. With that in mind, let's run through them one more time. 10 to the third power is called kilo and is abbreviated lowercase k. 10 to the sixth power is called mega and is abbreviated capital M. 10 to the ninth power is called giga and is abbreviated capital G. 10 to the negative third power is called milli and is abbreviated lowercase m. 10 to the negative sixth power is called micro and is abbreviated mu. 10 to the negative ninth power is called nano and is abbreviated lowercase n. 10 to the negative 12th power is called pico and is abbreviated lowercase p.